Morning, guys. Looks like there's quite a number of people still joining in, so give another couple of minutes. Right. I think we have some logging issues this morning. Apologies for that. Nice. All right. So good morning. Morning all. Thanks for joining us this morning, and welcome to the second webinar for this year. My name is Lakshan Gunasekar, and I'm one of the BDMs representing Hanwha Techwin in Australia. And this morning, I'm joined by Michael Metcalf, who will be presenting on Milestone's behalf. We'll look at the Wisenet AI Camera integration into Milestone XProtect. And I'll give you a quick introduction to begin with for those who, for the camera and its user interface, for those who missed our introductory webinar last year. And followed by how to configure the AI analytics on the camera. And Mike will then show you how it works on Milestone XProtect. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat function or wait until the end of the presentation for our Q&A session. All right, so just a quick rundown of the AI series. The AI models can easily be identified by the A in front of the suffix, as you can see here. And it comes in 3 different form factors. So we've got the indoor and outdoor domes, and the recessed mount dome as well, box and bullet options. There are also various accessories available depending on how you want to mount them, and you can find them on the accessories selector or in the toolbox plus. The AI series, at the moment, we've got 4K cameras in all different form factors that is mentioned here. We do have a 2 megapixel 1080p version coming out as well by the end of this month. So they are in production. They've just dropped into production. So we should have them available to order in April if you prefer the 2 megapixel version. All right, so let's have a look at how the built-in AI engine works. The deep learning AI algorithm is based on a convolutional neural network that reference checks what the camera is seeing versus what is stored in its image library. So it does a reference check to see, like, based on what is programmed into the camera to see whether it is detecting these kind of objects. So we've got human activity, we've got faces, and we've got vehicles, and also number plates that it can detect. And also there are certain attributes associated with faces and vehicles. So things like age, so gender, and upper clothing color, lower clothing color, any accessories, so bags, and masks, and glasses, things like that. And also the vehicle types as well. We'll look at these things a little bit later on. Give you a couple of examples of how this works. So on the left-hand side, you can see the conventional motion detection. So it detects everything. So you can see the bounding boxes there next to the waves and the two people there. So it's just detecting everything. So when you go back and play the footage, you have to go through everything. So on the right-hand side, so this is the deep learning video analytics or AI engine working there. So what it's doing is that it's only detecting human activity there. So it's actually eliminating the waves and the clouds and everything else. So how this is done on the camera's end, so this is the user interface of the camera, which I will go through soon. You just have to go and pick what kind of objects you are interested in. So in this case, you can look at human figures, vehicles, faces, and license plates. So any combination. So if you just want to, if you're only interested in vehicles, you can untick everything else and only have the vehicle option ticked. And then what you're going to get is results that you only want to see. So on the left-hand side, once again, you're seeing the guys are coming up, and then there's human figures, there are clouds there, but the camera's detecting everything. On the right-hand side, it's detecting objects. So in this case, human figures and faces. So the yellow bounding boxes are the faces, and the rectangle, the orange rectangles are human figures. You can go up to 255 objects in one scene. So depending on what kind of a combination you like. So once again, here's another example of, there's human activity, there's vehicle activity, but on the right-hand side, it's narrowing it down. So you can see the blue bounding boxes around the vehicles, and then the human face and the human figure there. Another good example. So on the left-hand side, you're seeing this raccoon here, and then it's just detecting it anyway because it's pixel movement in the scene. And then on the right-hand side, it's just not detecting it because it's not a human or a vehicle. If you would like that option, then you can always select that in the motion detection feature in the camera. Here's another example. On the left-hand side, it's just seeing pixels moving, so it's just detecting the whole lot. On the right-hand side, it's just detecting objects, or in this case, the ballerinas. You can also have a directional detection as well, so you can actually draw a line and then say, like, I'm only interested in people crossing the line, this way or the other way, left to right, or what, top, up and down, or both directions, which I will show you in a second. And this is how it needs to be set up in the camera's user interface. So as I said before, these are the available options at the minute. So we've got associated with people, so you've got gender, upper clothing color, lower clothing color, if they're carrying any bags, if they're wearing any glasses or face mask, for example, and then type of vehicle, and then also license plates. It's not license plate recognition, it's just it just detects the plate and then tells you I've detected a plate. The camera also gives you a best shot, so it can tell you in the metadata, this is what it sends to the VMS in Milestone in this case, for example. So it's telling this is a male, adult. We don't actually have, it's an age category. It doesn't actually show you the age. And it gives you the top, so 2 colors. So in this case, it's telling us that the person is wearing a white and a red combination, and then the bottom black and blue. And if he was wearing any glasses, he would, come up with a pair of glasses. The AI camera also comes with business intelligence analytics as well. So we got counting data, heat maps, and then queue management based on AI data. It doesn't have to be a top-down installation. It can be sideways or however you like to do it. Because it's based on the AI engine, it's looking for a human figure or a head when it's counting. All right, so I'll just quickly show you what the interface looks like. So I've got a camera set up in front of the TV this morning. So this is what the interface actually looks like. So this is the live view that you're seeing. So you can see the bounding box there. That is to say that it's detecting a face. If you go into the settings menu, and I'm not going to go through the whole lot because I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with the user interface of the Wisenet camera. So I'll just quickly show you how to set up object detection. And then you need to enable object detection here. Once you've done that, you can actually go and pick the objects that you are interested in. So in this case, person, vehicle, face, and license plate. So you can untick what you do not want to see so that you give the camera a little bit more, I guess, processing power to look at everything else that it needs to see. You can also set like minimum durations and things like that. And then event action settings are here. In the second tab here, you can also have exclusion areas. So if you do not want to see a particular area, you can actually put a square around it, a box around it. So you can go up to 8 in this case. You can also set a maximum and a minimum object size. So if you want to ignore things, for example, beyond a specific area, you can say, I just want to I do not want to see, ignore everything that is smaller than this or ignore everything that is bigger than this, red box here. So for example, if you do not want to count trucks, for example, or look at trucks, you can put a box around the car and then obviously anything bigger than a car would be ignored by the camera. You can also change sensitivity based on how you like. The best shot is then taken. So this is basically all your metadata. So if you can take what you want to see here. You can also have face mask detection enabled or disabled. So depending on what you like, make sure you go all the way down and then hit apply so that it can save changes. And then in intelligent video analytics, under here, if you enable this, you can actually have the directions, as I said. So if I say, have up to 8 lines, and I can say like a person crossing this way I'm interested in, a person crossing the other way I'm interested in, so A to B or B to A or both ways, depending on what you want to say. And then you can also do a handover to a PDZ. So if I had a PDZ, a Wisenet PDZ in my network, then I can say like, yep, if a person crosses this way, then please get the PDZ to look at that particular standard camera. You can also have virtual areas. So, for example, intrusion detection, loitering, and appear, disappear, all these things can be enabled in the camera. And then once again, you can do a handover to the PDZ or any other action that you would like the camera to perform based on what you've set here. You can have exclusion areas and once again, minimum, maximum object sizes. So all of these, everything that you do here is actually done on the camera. The smarts are built into the camera and then it actually pushes everything onto Milestone. There are other things that I'm not going to talk about. There's like, AI-based people counting, queue management, and heat maps. That's all available. Unfortunately, this part here is not integrated into Milestone. That's a separate thing, but we can push data files onto Milestone if that's what you like. So that's pretty much the user interface of the camera. There's loads of other things that you can set up. I'm not going to go through everything. But if you would like us to go through this with you one-on-one, more than happy to do it. Please get in touch with us. But let's have a look at like how this actually works on Milestone, the most important part of the presentation. So with that, Mike, if you're ready, we'll let you share your screen and take it away, Mike.
Thanks, Lux. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Let's just go ahead and share that. You should be seeing that shortly. Right, so thanks again, everyone, for joining today's webinar, and thank you to the team at Hanwha for inviting us along to be part of this. So my name is Mike Metcalf. I'm the manager for the APAC key account team. I've been with Milestone. It'll be coming up to 7 years this year, so a fair amount of time with the organization. So looking at today's agenda, for those who don't know, I'll do a very brief introduction to Milestone, who we are and what we do, as well as go through specifically what makes us unique in the market, particularly around our open platform and the advantage, and then touch a bit about on what actually XProtect is, because when a lot of people speak about the product, they refer to it as Milestone. So today I just want to differentiate that and just make that very clear for everybody. So founded in 1998 in Copenhagen, Denmark, the Milestone Systems founders quickly realized that the future of surveillance was not analog but digital, and we pivoted to becoming the open platform video management software company. Our mission then was to record and connect to as many companies entering the market with IP surveillance cameras. The thought was to give our partners, yourselves, the freedom of choice to build and scale solutions as you see fit and as you're required. Today, Milestone Systems are a global leader in providing a truly open and scalable software platform. And our XProtect platform supports over 10,000 camera devices with hundreds of technology partner integrations in artificial intelligence, IoT, access control, analytics, and hardware. And since 2014, we've been a subsidiary company of the Canon group of companies. What we really like to talk about and what we're very proud of is our local presence in country, supporting our partners right across Australia and New Zealand. And you've got everything from leadership, marketing, commercial sales and support, inside sales, and our really important teams here is our pre-sales team and our post-sales technical support and professional services teams, all available in country right across Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria, based to support our partners in everything from system design, implementation, training, services and support. So what makes Milestone Systems unique is our approach and truly open platform. Many companies claim to be open because they have an on-Viv driver and a handful of integrations. And what we're actually seeing from competitors is a move to being an end-to-end provider, where they want to sell you everything from cameras, access control and analytics, locking you into proprietary systems just like the analog CCTV companies did prior to the IP revolution and the birth of Milestone. Our open platform allows you to deliver unique solutions rather than proprietary, where every dealer is delivering exactly the same offering, which is a limited one. Milestone enables you to build and scale solutions harnessing the latest technology and innovation that is fit for purpose and budget now and into the future. We offer a solution that is powerful, affordable, and scalable with the ultimate freedom of choice on all components of your surveillance system, which enables the best-in-class and future-proofing of systems. So, when we talk about the freedom and flexibility of the open and freely SDK, this is really important because this allows our partners to set themselves apart by harnessing our community of technology partners, utilizing our open and freely available SDKs. We'll delve into a bit further into today's session. The dedicated program with technology partner manager teams also has a certification program ensuring the community of the dedication to our integration. So you can have valid certifications knowing that the integrations that you're using with the XProtect platform will be upheld and will be maintained by the partners developing those integrations. It's also important when reviewing systems to ensure you unlock the potential that the world of solutions has to offer, and no support innovation is better than what we do. So what is the XProtect platform? This is your foundation that is feature-rich right out of the box, unlocking a range of possibilities, which we'll show today, for scalability from single-site implementations right into multi-site, multi-user operations. So here's more about the possibilities with XProtect.
Creating a video surveillance system today can sometimes be a puzzle. Luckily, with Milestone XProtect video management software, it's easy, because it brings all pieces together in a perfect combination, so you can create a solution that keeps people, premises, and property safe today and tomorrow. Airports, casinos, and other 24-hour operations depend on constant, reliable surveillance, all day, every day. With more than 20 years on the market, XProtect has proven to be the right answer for more than 500,000 installations worldwide, from flower shops to universities, stadiums, and cities. You should be able to build a system that suits your needs. With our open platform approach, you get access to a community of thousands of integrated applications, services, and more than 8,500 hardware devices that add extra value and capabilities to your system. Let's be realistic. Sometimes bad things happen, and when they do, you need to react. XProtect is designed to be simple to learn and easy to use without compromising on advanced capabilities. And whether you are at home, at work, or on the go, XProtect is always there with 3 flexible viewing clients that put you in control anytime, anywhere. Starting with XProtect means starting right, with a future-proof VMS that can easily grow and expand over time as your needs change. It means starting with software that we upgrade and improve 3 times a year to make it better, safer, and more powerful. While you work to prevent, protect, and prove, we work to ensure you get a reliable, high-performing, and secure solution. Building a video solution today requires a solid foundation. It requires XProtect.
So going into a bit about our licensing structure, which is always a key topic when talking about VMSs, it's really important to mention that Milestone has one of the most simplest licensing structures on the market today. Purchasing a base server license unlocks the capability or the features available in our various versions of product. That's all you would need to deploy the system in its entirety. Every device connected to the system would then need a device license. Now we license per IP address. So multi-IP address devices would need that. When it comes to NVRs and DVRs, we're moving to a new licensing model, which some of you may be aware of, where it's per channel based. But typically, every device connected to the system would need a device license. And that's it. Our viewing clients that were mentioned in the video, the smart client, which you'll see a demo of today, the mobile client and the web client are all free, which means you can have unlimited users connected to your system at no additional cost. Merely download the application, give them a login profile, and they're off and running. And you can manage those users in terms of what they can see and what they can do within that client. There's no additional management server clients, there's no device licenses, there's no site licenses, there's no failover licenses, and nothing in that regard. It's simply base license of the product, device and a device license per device connected to the system, be it audio or video, or an IoT sensor in that sense. But let's jump into why we're here today to talk about the analytics, and in particular, the Wisenet AI Camera metadata plugin from our team at Hanwha. So the Hanwha AI Camera plugin is used to register the AI analysis events, such as people, faces, vehicle, and license plates. And these are analyzed by the AI Camera to XProtect as an official event in order to search these events within our centralized search framework in the Milestone Smart Client. And we'll go into a bit more action later on in terms of what that looks like, and I'll do a bit of a demonstration using some of these metrics. The search tab of the Milestone XProtect Smart Client provides additional menu items when it is used with the AI Camera plugin. So over and above the standard Milestone options, and I'll talk about what those are today, you can utilize those in combination with the Hanwha AI metrics and analytic capabilities, which you saw where here we're searching for a vehicle, and in particular we're looking for a black vehicle, and now we can change that to yellow as well. And the same rings true for when we start searching for people and face metrics, right? This enables users to quickly and efficiently find what it is that they're looking for using edge-based technology. If you haven't yet seen, the plugin documentation, installation manuals, and links to trials are available through the Milestone Marketplace, which is accessible from our website, milestonesys.com. Here you can get a holistic overview of what is required from both Hanwha and Milestone, as well as what devices and software versions are supported right across the range. Here you can access your installers, your documentation, and specification in terms of what is available, even from an actual hardware perspective, and versions of product that this is supported in as well. So with that, let's take you into what it looks like in XProtect. So today I'm actually using our AppStream application and logged into our AWS instance, which we have. So the cameras that you'll be seeing today are actually based on viewing our office over in Portland in Oregon in the United States. So let me just expand that and it'll just resize really quickly. So what you can see here is the metrics immediately coming through in our PNV A9081R Hanwha camera. So you can see these bounding boxes identifying objects in that screen. And I'll touch on a number of these here today. And what I might actually do is show you a couple of the alarming events as well. So we'll be focusing primarily on this camera here, and we'll touch on the center shortcut camera as well. So jumping into our centralized search tab up here in the top left next to playback, we'll get straight into it. So centralized search is the location where we can start doing our filtering using the different analytical metrics as well as the Milestone capabilities. You can also open any searches, which means any metrics that you put in here and any filterable parameters, you can actually save that search as a new search and review that later. And when you open that search later, it'll have all those filterable metrics already saved in there, as well as the cameras that you selected. All you would then need to do would be to pick your time frame. So for the purpose of today, I'm going to start a new search and I'm going to select a 24-hour time period. And I'm going to go down here and typing in Hanwha. As I mentioned, we're going to focus on that northwest corner. And populating the northwest corner in 24 hours, you'll see I have 1,906 results of objects and motion, everything that's happened in here. And you've got some indicators here of motion detected recordings that came through. So these little indicators in the top left will actually identify what it is that we're looking at for the most part. And then on the right-hand side, yeah, I want you just to take note of some of the additional information that comes through, because as we start applying these AI filters, that information will get a lot more interesting, right? So up on your timeline here, you have all the events that came through, and just hovering over one of those events gives you a quick snapshot of the date, time that particular event occurred. If I was to click on that, it would navigate down straight away to that. I'll be able to review what's going on here. So we had some motion going on. So very, very effective, very, very efficient in terms of centralized search. But let's get into it. So clicking on my search for button here under my camera selection box opens up a range of different filterable metrics, right? So the standard Milestone metadata based ones that we have are things like people, vehicle. These would be your Milestone alarms, bookmarks, and events and motion, which are all Milestone related metadata search metrics. So using the Hanwha ones for the purpose of today's demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and select person and select new search. Now it's interesting to note that when I'm there, I can select face and vehicle. So I can select multiple metrics if I want to and add those to my existing search. But I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. So using my person metrics here, I want to go ahead and search for some colors. So let's look for high vis vests, and also want to search for vehicles. So I'm searching, this is new in our 2020 R3 release, where you have and or filters, so we can match all criteria, which gives us the and filter, or we can match any criteria, which gives us the or filter. And when I go down here and select bicycle, I'll have, out of those 1,906 results, I've now returned it to 14 in a 24-hour period in a matter of seconds. So here we've got our orange jacket, and it's important to note just sort of the distance of this camera. And I don't know exactly what that distance is, but it's quite a high overview. As we can see here, camera mounted quite high. And here's one here with our yellow top colors, or our upper colors, person wearing a bicycle. And what's great down here is the additional information that I mentioned to take a look at, right? So if I just pause it right there, we've got color one being orange, which was our searchable color, but we have a second color which has been identified, which is black, which is true. And we also have a gender metric that comes up, which is quite interesting here. And I'll get into a bit of what that actually looks like in a further search. So keeping with the yellow trend and orange trend, and I'll stay on vehicles, just go ahead and select buses and trucks and change that to orange and yellow as well. And again, within a 24 period, I have 30 returned results. And clicking on that straight away, I've got an instant playback of 2 orange-based vehicles over there. It gives me my color, it gives me my likelihood, and it also gives me the type of vehicle that came through as well. If you want to know when your delivery is coming through, you can just search for that DHL van by searching the color yellow, also searching for the metric truck, and you'll get that return result as well. Now, as Lux mentioned early on, and I'll touch on this a bit later, you can also set up active alarms in XProtect, where it can actually alarm on these metrics as well. So scrolling through there, we've got a couple of more options. So Optimus Prime coming through there, and we've got another Amazon Prime vehicle down here as well, again with our metrics there. So sticking with that, I'm going to stay with this particular metric, buses and trucks. So we're searching for vehicles, we're searching for buses, we're searching for trucks. But then I want to add a person metric as well. I'm going to add that to my existing search. So now I'm searching for buses and trucks, and I'm searching for a person, but I'm looking for a particular person with a bag. So if I just untick that really, really quickly, buses and trucks with people, 24 results in a 24-hour period. That's pretty good. That's pretty nifty. But when I narrow down to a person with a bag, I've got 8 results, and I've got my person down here. Bang. And I've got a truck there as well. So again, I'll bring your attention down here to the metrics at the bottom. I've got a white truck, and I've got a person with a bag in that same shot. And that's my filter that I've searched for as well, vehicle and person with bag. And in particular, a bus or a truck, and I've got that information down here. Now these yellow indicators, if I just make that a bit bigger, these yellow indicators on the timeline, when I hover over those, it actually gives me the particular event and timestamp of that event when that was picked up on the camera itself. So there we've got our vehicle event, which would be our shredded vehicle up here, which is our white truck, and we've got our person event down here with the bag. So again, really, really handy for operators to narrow down their searches using the simple AI metrics that are coming through XProtect from the Hanwha AI cameras. While I'm here, if I wanted to save that just really quickly, I can just tick the box and I get a number of operations down here where I can immediately export that footage. I can bookmark that footage and share that information with other operators, or share that on a smart wall, and I can view these selected cameras in a particular window itself. Double clicking on this camera as well just makes it larger. It gives me that time frame. I've got my bounding boxes, and I can quickly zoom that back and forward. Double clicking again just drops it back in. So let's just stick with the vehicle metric as well, and I'll remove my person metric. Let's just change that. Let's search this time for a color, and let's use a milestone particular metric as well. And we're going to go ahead and add motion. And we're going to say on this particular camera, I'm going to set the motion box for the parking lot. What I might do is actually, let's make it a bit more difficult. Let's change that from white to red. So notice here you can actually pick up to 2 colors, and you would have seen that on one of Lakshan's slides as well. So you can get multiple results. 376 we had there. If I change that to red, it starts narrowing that down to a lot less. But now we've got our red vehicles coming in, and we've got our motion metric here. So if we take a look at that, there's our red vehicle, 89% likelihood, and it's a car and it's a sedan. Here we've got our bounding box of that same vehicle coming in as well. And what's really interesting as part of this search is we've got a vehicle identified in the back there as well. So we've got our red car sedan coming through as well. So again, the efficiency, the situational awareness, and the capability to quickly identify the objects and find the information that you're looking for is extremely handy on utilizing the AI technologies coming from the camera devices. So let's clear this and let's focus on our center shortcut camera, which is our internal camera, and let's see some of the metrics that we can get out of here. So again, in a 24-hour period, I've got 79 return results. But what I want to look for here is the other metric that we have from Hanwha, which is our face option. Now here I'm going to be looking for someone that's not wearing any glasses, but they are wearing a mask. Straight away, I've narrowed that down to those 56 results. And you can see I've got multiple people coming in here. It also gives me an age and gender range, and you can see pretty accurate when it comes through there. So simple identification. But I need to narrow this down even more. I'm looking specifically for someone carrying a bag. So what I'm going to do is add my person metric, add that, and I'm going to say use my and rather than the or, which will, if I change that to or, it'll return more results. And I'm going to say, show me that person with that bag. And straight away, I've got that person coming in, and you can see, if you don't believe me, there's the bag there. Right, so if we've got the indicator, we've got the person event, we've got the face event, and if I just scrub that back really quickly and zoom in, there's our bag there. And we've got that listed as an accessory down here as well in the information. So one last one that I just want to show you is, let's go ahead and add both of those. And I'm going to narrow that down to a 7-day period. And I'm going to remove my metrics. And I'm going to start again. So we have thousands of results coming through right in this 7-day period, because that's a long period of time. There were a lot of events and a lot of things that would have come through. So let's go ahead and add that person, and we're going to be searching for a bag. I'm going to be searching for someone wearing red, and in particular I'm looking for a female. And straight away, what I want you to identify here is a group of people hanging out by the vehicle. And if I just zoom that in, they're holding bags. Right? So extremely effective. But one last one that I want to show you out of this search here, if I just scroll down even further, is this one in particular here. You're probably thinking, that's a person, sure, they're wearing a red top, but there's no bag there. They're walking a dog. But if I zoom in, I'm just going to pause it there a second, scrub back right there. There we go. And if I just zoom in, there's my bag right there. Bang. So extremely effective. You've got the information down here. It even gives you that secondary color if you took a look at that. And let's just zoom out again. So extremely handy. Now this one down here, you've probably gone, yeah, Mike, that person's wearing blue. But if I just click on that, there's my person wearing red at the beginning of the video. So extremely effective, extremely intuitive, and for operators searching for information really quickly, a very cost-effective solution integrated into the XProtect platform. We're using a multitude of metrics from the Hanwha AI devices as well as Milestone. You can enhance your searches tenfold by simply adding these sorts of devices and using these sorts of metrics available to you. So one final thing that I want to show you, I mentioned earlier that you're able to set these up in a particular way where you can receive alarms. So what we've done here is set up an alarm stack to receive face appearing. So you would have seen the setup here. So every time we have a face appearing, here's some new searches there. We get an alarm when that face appears in this box here as well. And I can just zoom out on this particular camera there. And the other one, which I demonstrated while we were using the metrics, is setting up an alarm for every time there is face mask detection on this camera. So there we go. Perfect. And that's really, in a nutshell, a snapshot of the capabilities available in using the Hanwha devices in Milestone. So extremely effective in making operators efficient and increasing that situational awareness on the devices. I can carry on. I mean, we can go to this camera down here in a live view if we wanted to, and quickly pop out a separate window and start doing the exact same things where we're searching for vehicles. And in particular, if we search for the color purple in the last 2 hours, purple, not many people drive purple cars, but you'd be surprised. And there we go. In case you missed that. We've got a burgundy purple type of what looks to be, is that a Jeep? Not quite sure. But there's your metrics down there. We know it's a truck, it's delivered that result, and we've got that color purple. And Lux, if there isn't anything else that you want me to demonstrate, that's pretty much it in that sense.
That's great. Good, Mike. Thanks for that. You guys have any questions? I think if anyone has any questions, please use the chat function, or you can just ask directly. Just unmute yourself and just ask. All right. Doesn't look like anyone's got any questions, but I think that was pretty clear. I think we've done well, Mike. All right. Well, guys, if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out. Bill and I are here if you need anything from our side, and I'm pretty sure the Milestone guys will answer your emails and phone calls. So please feel free to reach out to any of us. If you have any questions, we do have a couple of AI cameras that we can loan out if you need to test it, put it to the test. We can also come out and then actually do a proper demonstration one-on-one if you like, if you prefer it that way. Yeah, other than that, please reach out. You've got our details anyway, or just talk to our suppliers or distributors. And then, yeah. All right, doesn't look like anyone's got any questions. So thank you very much. That was easy.
Thanks, everyone. And Bucks, just echoing.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you very much. That was really awesome.
Thanks, guys. That was really informative. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a good day. See you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you very much.